Well, good morning and welcome to this week's edition of Coffee with a Coach. Last week I was up in Montreal, Canada. I was working with one of my favorite groups of people. It's a company that builds jet engines. Now, if you want to know who they are, just Google dependable engines and they'll pop right up. It's a great way for them to be able to be found. It was the second week in a row I was in Canada, the week before in Toronto, this week in Montreal. And this week I ran into a guy in my workshop by the name of Keppel. Now, Keppel, just like Tom from last week, is a fellow. Fellows, again, are the ones that do just kind of a consulting role. They take their knowledge and expertise and they kind of hang around and just help people solve problems and think very strategically and kind of think visionary. Again, like Tom, just a really, really great guy. Great input in the class, always sharing some of his wisdom. And then on Wednesday, when class was over, he said, "Hey Malcolm, do you want to go look at some jet engines?" And to be honest with you, I was really tired. I thought, well, yeah, sure, I'll go with you. And I'm so glad I did. He met me at the hotel. We walked across the street to where the plant was, and he took me for a tour from start to finish on how an engine's built. And the interesting thing was, this guy, I'm convinced, could have built one by himself. Not only was he telling me how the engines were built, he was showing me how the supply chain worked, what things they were wrestling with as a company, just some phenomenal information. This guy was a walking, talking wealth of expertise. As we walked to the different areas where the guys were working on the engines, they just sort of stepped back like the master was coming. And I was so impressed. We all finished our tour in the engine test room where they hook the things up and they actually run them. And I'll be honest with you now, when I fly and I know that there's an engine made by this company in my plane, I feel really, really safe. So what's that have to do with all of us? Keppel in my book was a guru. The guy just had a massive amount of knowledge, wisdom, and expertise, and he shared it with others. What an interesting guy to talk to. And you know, when I was done, I thought, wouldn't it be great to be a guru in any field? In my particular field, knowing all the stuff there could be known about management and willing to share that. That's me. How about you? You know, everybody's concerned about finding a job or keeping a job. If you are a guru, your chance of losing your job are pretty slim. And if you do lose it, there's going to be plenty of other opportunities. If right now you're worried about getting one, what are you doing to demonstrate your expertise? If you don't have expertise, what are you doing to grow your expertise? You may have to start reading more. You may have to find yourself a mentor. Expertise is power. I saw it in Keppel as he walked the floor of that engine plant. Expertise is power when I see a speaker or a consultant that I really, really respect. And that's a great goal for all of us. So this week, why don't we be thinking about that? What can we do to grow our expertise? It truly is power. Next week, we'll be talking about another form of power, but in the meantime, I want you to have a wonderful week and join me next week on Coffee with a Coach.